It is highly unfortunate that despite the vast fertile lands that Africa is blessed with, the continent has not yet achieved the goal of food self-sufficiency. According to the 2022 Global Report on Food Crises, about 140 million people in Africa face acute food insecurity, and at least 1 in 5 Africans go hungry to bed. The situation is especially bad in places where insecurity and insurgency are prevalent because citizens are forced to leave their farms and their homes to seek safety elsewhere. This situation has become so bad that most African countries have become highly dependent on foreign aid and imports of food products to sustain their growing population. It is painful and heartbreaking because Africa has all it needs to become food self-sufficient. So, what exactly is the problem? Well, it's because agriculture in Africa has not been given the proper attention it deserves. The agriculture sector is dominated by subsistence farmers who produce crops with simple tools mostly for their personal needs. This means that what is produced in the continent is not enough to feed the population, hence the reason for high food imports. The governments in African countries have not been able to establish policies and programs that can effectively organize these subsistence farmers into major producers of food. Of course, every year, agricultural policies and programs are initiated, but the majority of these programs end up being abandoned halfway, or the farmers who ought to enjoy the benefits of the program do not get to enjoy it. However, the fact is, with the right government, farming techniques, and investments that are properly managed, Africa can produce more than enough food for itself and even export to the world. And it is important for Africa to achieve food sufficiency because there is a need to change the narrative and image of the continent as poor, needy, and always seeking help. Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso caught this vision, and in the short time he was in power, he launched aggressive programs to enable Burkina Faso to achieve food sufficiency, undertook a form of land redistribution, encouraging rural subsistence and the growth of local rice, maize, and millet. For Sankara, eating imported rice, maize, and millet was a form of imperialism. And, to the amazement of the world, Sankara's work paid off. By 1987, production of cereals in Burkina Faso had risen to 1.6 billion tons, leading John Ziegler, then UN Special Rapporteur for the Right to Food, to declare, "Thomas Sankara has conquered hunger." It has meant that Burkina Faso, in 4 years, has become food self-sufficient. The interesting thing is that Thomas Sankara achieved food self-sufficiency for Burkina Faso without the help of any foreign government. Now, even though Sankara's dream was cut short as a result of his death, leading the country to become dependent on food aid, there is hope once again because of Ibrahim Traore, the current military leader of Burkina Faso. From his speech to his actions, it is obvious that the young leader is inspired by the ideals of Thomas Sankara and is committed to following in his footsteps. Just like Thomas Sankara, Ibrahim Traore is passionate about achieving food sufficiency for Burkina Faso. In one of his most famous speeches during the Russian-African Summit, which catapulted him into the world spotlight, Captain Traore wondered why the African continent was poor despite its abundant resources, and urged African leaders to stop their beggary attitude and focus on achieving food self-sufficiency, a goal he plans to achieve. And since he became president of Burkina Faso, Traore has been hard at work to achieve his goal. As a matter of fact, part of Traore's goal for the year 2024 is to achieve food self-sufficiency. And to achieve this, his administration has gone all out on 2 major agricultural programs launched in 2023, called Operation Agropastoral Offensive and the Presidential Initiative for Food Self-Sufficiency. In February 2024, Traore's administration launched an African Development Bank-supported project to bolster food security in the country against the impacts of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Called the Emergency Project for Increasing Agricultural Production in Burkina Faso, the African Development Bank Group provided 38.4 million euros to help achieve the project. It also plans to supply nearly 9,000 tons of certified climate-adapted seeds to 330,000 farmers, which will help increase production of maize, rice, soya, cowpea, sorghum, and wheat. The implementation of the program is expected to boost national rice production by 430,000 tons and maize production by 707,000 tons, as well as increase other crop yields. Interestingly, this project complements the Operation Agro-Pastoral Offensive launched last year. In March 2024, Traore allocated equipment and agricultural inputs worth more than 78 billion CFA francs to local producers in a move aimed at enhancing agricultural productivity in Burkina Faso. The distribution of farming equipment to local producers is part of the government's efforts to promote food self-sufficiency and bolster the agro-pastoral and fisheries sectors. Under the leadership of Traore, a significant increase in support for agro-silvopastoral producers has been announced for the year 2024. President Traore highlighted the substantial scale-up in resources, stating that the equipment and fertilizers provided this year far surpass previous allocations. This year, we are making available twice the amount of equipment compared to 2023 and over 5 times the average quantity distributed in the past 5 years. Similarly, the provision of chemical fertilizers will see an allocation of approximately 68,900 tons, more than double the amount distributed in 2023 and over 5 times the average of the past 5 years, he said. The equipment includes 400 tractors, 239 tillers, and 710 motor pumps. In addition, 714 motorcycles were acquired for the benefit of agricultural agents who will be tasked with the responsibility of providing assistance to the farmers. The government also provided agricultural production inputs, including 10,000 tons of fish feed, 964 tons of fertilizers, 10,000 liters of phytosanitary product, 18,000 tons of plant seeds, 2,300 tons of fodder seeds, and 10,000 tons of concentrated feed. President Traore went on to encourage the youths to engage in agriculture and emphasized the presence of focal points in various regions who will provide assistance to aspiring producers. This initiative underscores the government's commitment to supporting local farmers and driving agricultural development across Burkina Faso. Still, in March, the president donated a large mass of land to the students in Burkina Faso who were interested in agriculture. The aim of this objective was to empower the students to plant and sell crops, thereby generating a source of income for themselves. According to the reports, each of the students was granted 2 hectares of land on which they could farm. And after some time, he paid a visit to the agricultural farms located in Bagre, situated in the eastern central part of Burkina Faso. The aim of this visit was to observe and evaluate the progress of the agricultural students who are currently undergoing training at these farms. During his visit, Traore was given a tour of the farm, and he witnessed firsthand the various agricultural practices and procedures taught and implemented by the students. Traore showed his excitement at the level of dedication and commitment displayed by the students and commended them for their efforts in contributing to the agricultural sector of the country. He went further to express his satisfaction with the progress made by the students and assured them of the government's commitment to supporting the agricultural sector. This move by Traore is a testament to his commitment to the development of the agricultural sector in Burkina Faso, and there is no doubt that his efforts would have a positive impact on the economy by increasing agricultural production and generating employment opportunities. The lands given to the students will enable them to either grow crops or raise livestock, which will contribute to national food security and reduce dependence on imported food products. Through this way, Burkina Faso will be able to achieve food self-sufficiency as it did during the time of Thomas Sankara. What do you think of Traore's move? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video.